Hello everyone, myself I am Marlene Joyce, currently working as an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering of Vigyan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research. In today's class, we are going to learn about the operating system. So, in the previous unit, you have learned about all the basics that is related to the computers. That means what and all parts are there and how you are working with the computer and what and all functioning happens within the computer, right? So, in today's class, you are going to learn about the operating system. So, you would be surprised to know that whatever you are communicating with the computer can able to understand, right? So, similarly, whenever we want to communicate with the other person, we need a language as a mediator. Yes or no? Yes, right. So, in case of operating system, it acts as an interface. So, what exactly is interface? If you want to communicate with the computer, have you ever thought that whether the computer knows Japanese or else Telugu or else English or else any other language to understand? No, right? So, the computer only way of understanding the language is zeros and ones, right? So, here we come across a concept called as an operating system. So, we will see what exactly is operating system in the unit 2. So, what and all are the objectives we are going to learn in today's class are, so the basic functionality of an operating system and functions and components of operating system, types of operating system and programs and process differences. So, we will start with the session. Whenever you are saying operating system, always remember you are sitting in front of your computer and you are directly or indirectly speaking to your computer with the help of a commands, right? Nothing but you are communicating with the computer. So, the communicating with the computer, after completion of communicating with the computer also replies back to you, yes or no? So, yes. So, how this communication happens means with the help of a concept or with the help of an operating system. So, what exactly is an operating system means? Operating system acts as an interface between user as well as computer. What exactly is interface? So, operating system is a mediator between user as well as computer, right? So, for this in a real time world, if you consider there are two people and one person knows Hindi and the other person knows English. So, the person who knows Hindi want to communicate something with the person who knows English, right? So, the person who knows Hindi doesn't know English and the person who knows English doesn't know Hindi, right? So, here we need a mediator who knows both the languages, that means who knows both English as well English as well Hindi, right? So, similarly operating system also, it acts as an interface, it acts as a mediator who conveys your communication to the computer. That is what here it is. So, in case of operating system, first one, it acts as an interface you are saying. Second point, it is a set of programs that controls a computer. So, obviously, whenever you are communicating with a computer, we need to talk with a set of programs that are written in binary language or that are written in zeros and ones. So, that communication will be provided to the computer with a set of programs by the operating system. Next one, communicates with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language. So, what exactly this defines means? We can communicate with the computer even though the computer doesn't understand our language. with the help of operating system. So next one, in a very technical way, if you consider what is operating system means, it is a collection of software that manages computer hardware resources and provides communication services for computer program. So for better understanding of this definition, if you observe the diagram, here you are having hardware and second part is software, and then here you are having the user. So we have already said that operating system acts as a mediator between user as well the computer, right? So here the computer's components are divided into hardware and software. So here I am taking hardware and software and user. For example, the user wants to store any kind of data. The user wants to store any kind of data. So how he has to store the data? For example, the user want to open one particular file and he want to write some text. Hello is the text. So he want to save this document inside the computer, right? So here the operating system, the user communicates with the operating system. What does communicating with the operating system means? He will press on something called as one particular icon, and then icon will be navigated to the hardware. This is the basic workflow, or this is the basic structure of an operating system. So next one is features of operating system. So in case of features of operating system, so what this operating system is specialized for means, first one is managing the resources, providing a user interface. User interface means nothing but communication between user and a computer. Next one, running applications. What does running applications means? You will be having Microsoft Word document, then Notepad, and playing games or painting a picture in a application, right? So multiple applications will be run at the same time. So such kind of running applications will be managed by the operating system. Next one, it supports for built-in utility programs. That means you can design your own programs. Next one, control to the computer hardware. So control to the computer hardware means, if I am pressing some letter hello on the keyboard, right? Whenever I am pressing hello on the keyboard, it should be visible on the monitor. Yes or no? So that means whenever you are pressing some particular key like H key, then E key, then L, L, O. So total 5 number of keys you are pressing, right? So who is converting that particular key functioning into a letter on the monitor? So nothing but operating system. That itself is called as an control to computer hardware. Next one, it is reliable. Reliable means surely the whatever the instructions we are doing will be obeyed by the, or will be 100% we can rely on the work assigned to the computer if we have operating system. Next one, enhances the time sharing. That means whenever we want to divide some time, that also will be done by the operating system. So these are the very basic features of operating system. So we will start. Before going to know about what is the functions of operating system or types of operating system, one thing which you will get more confused is what is operating system and what is software, or else what is application. There is a much difference between operating system and a software. So what is the difference between normal operating system and a software or else application means? So here on the left side, whatever is visible to you are the examples of operating system. Here, whatever is visible to you are the examples of an application software. All these are called as an system software and all these are called as an application software. Now, we will understand what is the difference between system software and application software. So, here Windows, Macintosh and Linux and Ubuntu and so on, these and all are the operating systems. So, why it is called as an operating system and how it differs from the application software means, in case of operating system, for the functioning of the computer itself, we need an operating system. That means the computer cannot work without operating system. That means, so for this one, whenever you are opening your systems, you are able to see booting process and you are able to see some application on the desktops, right? So, how you can able to see? Just because you are having operating system in your computer. So, one difference, major difference is the computer cannot run or the computer cannot work without the presence of operating system, because here the computer itself depends on operating system. So, what is application software means? Inside this operating system, you will be having different applications. That means, here you are having only operating system and here you are having multiple application. So, one more difference is the computer can work without these applications. That means, it depends upon the user interest whether to have these applications or not. So, it depends upon the user to have which type of operating system. So, on a brief, whenever you are having this operating system, then only your system will work. Here in application software, even though you are not having any of the application, still your computer works, because application are users wish whether to install or not. Next one, examples of operating systems. Examples of devices which uses operating system are computers, mobile phones, 3D television, video game, ATM, ticket vending machines. These are the devices which supports operating system. Next one, the devices which won't support operating system are speed meters, digital watches, micro ovens, washing machines and calculators. So, you will understand why these devices supports operating system and why these devices doesn't support operating system by the end of this session. Next one, advantages of operating system. Ease to use. What is ease to use? Just because you are having operating system, you no need to learn anything, because the operating system will display everything to you and it provides the communication to you, right? User friendly. Next one, it acts as an intermediate between hardware and software of a system. Next one, the one very advantage is no need of having a knowing the technical knowledge. Next one, this one is a major difference in order to understand, because process and program. What exactly is process and what exactly is program, you have to understand, right? So, process invokes or initiates a program. So, always remember one thing, whenever you are talking about the process, so process means starting and ending. The time between starting and ending of a task will be called as one process, right? That means, for example, you are playing the game. In order to play the game, you will open your computer and you will start the game, right? So you will start playing the game, and after a period of time you will stop playing the game. So the time period between starting the game to the ending the game will be called as an process. So that is what we are saying. It is an instance of a program that can be multiple and running the same application. So what is this instance of a program that can be multiple or running the same application means? For example, you are having or you are sitting in front of your computer. So you open the notepad. Notepad means in order to write something. So you have opened multiple notepads in your system, right? So all those multiple notepads will be run on the same window, right? So that will be supported by the process. That means instead of one notepad, you can work with multiple notepads we are saying. Next one, functions of operating system. So in case of functions of operating system, these are the very important functions which you need to learn. Process management, memory management, resource management, file management, communication management, security management and command line interpreter. So we will see the functioning of operating system one by one. First one is process management. So what is meant by process management? We have already seen that process management means, in case of process management, the time taken between starting task to ending task will be called as an process management. So in computer, we will be running or we will be managing multiple processes. So like if you want to open any kind of file, or if you want to save any kind of file, or else if you want to open anything like video games or pictures or any or movies, something you can run parallelly, right? So each opening of file will be considered as a one process. So process P1, P2 and P3 you are having. So running process simultaneously will be managed by the process management, right? So here we will see the examples of process management: creating and deletion of user and system process. That means in order to create one process as well to delete one process will be done with the help of a process management. So what is this creation and deletion means? Booting, open, save, install, copy, print and send. These and all are the examples of a process management, or these and all are the examples of process. Next one is memory management. So what is the functionality of a memory management means? In memory management, it refers to the management of primary memory or main memory. So we have already seen the functionality of a memories, right? Just to remember something and to allocate the memory in different types of memories based upon the functionality in a memory hierarchy, right? So in a brief, memory management means based upon its functionality, it will categorize to which type of memory does the content belongs to, and it will send the data to such kind of memory. So what is the functionality of memory management means? It will decide which process load into memory when memory spaces becomes available. Memory management means, for example, you are having a memory unit, right? So if you remember the first unit, you will be taking some input and the input will be assigned to the memory unit only if the memory is available, right? If the memory is not available, obviously we cannot take the input from the user. So that is what it means. So here memory management means it will first check whether memory is having a space to receive the amount of data. If it is having the space, then the memory will be the data will be taken. If it is not having the space to store in a computer, it will deallocates. Deallocate means it will erases the memory that is present within the computer, already stored in the computer, and then allocates the memory to the user, right? That is the meaning of allocation and deallocation. So, allocation means it will give us space, deallocation means it will delete the data which is already existing and give the space to the newly coming data. Next one is file management. In case of file management, it is used to perform some task like creating a file or directories, renaming files, copying and moving files, deleting files. So, file management, if you want to understand, you need to understand the difference between file and folder. So, what is the difference between file and folder means? You are opening or you are saving your biodata in a Microsoft Word document, right? So, that will be done with the help of a file. That means you are opening one Word document and you are saving the content in a Word document. If you are saying, so folder means collection of files will be called as an folder. So, if you want to save your data in one file and your parents, your mother data in one file and your father data in one file, and if you want to save or if you want to store all those three datas in one place, then in case of that we will make use of a folder. So, file means we will store only single or we will store only one set of program. So, in case of folder, we will store multiple files. File management is used for creating a files and a directories. For creation of the files and storing the files and deleting the files, we need a file management. Next one is security management. So, security management means, so the operating system will take care of this security management by alerting the messages. So, by alerting the message means whenever you are opening some browser which is very threatful, in that case the computer needs to alert the user, right, by sending a message, threat is visible in your computer or some virus is entered into your computer, some pop-up will be open to you, right. So, that is what alert messages and dialog boxes, firewalls and password. So, all this will be managed by the security management, nothing but keeping safe of your computer as well the data that is present inside your computer will be taken care by security management. Next one is command line interpreter. So, in case of command line interpreter, here command line interpreter is an interface between system and the user. So, this is the basic functioning of operating system and very important functioning of operating system, because here you will make use of two types of interfaces. One is normal command line interface and another one is graphical user interface. Next one is resource management. Resource management means you will be having multiple hardwares or multiple input devices, output devices, storage devices and memory devices, right. So, whenever you are sending some task to the computer, so the operating system should distribute which task should be done by which type of device, that and all will be taken by the resource management. Next one is communication management. Communication management means whenever I want to send some data from one place to another place, or whenever I want to exchange the data between two computers. In that case, what I have to do? I have to either upload means I have to forward the data, and the other person need to download the data. That means receive the data which the sender has sent. That and all will be also maintained by the operating system. So, in a brief, we have seen the functions of operating system. So, now we will see the types of the user interfaces based upon its functionality. So, what exactly is user interface means? It controls the display for the user. That means whenever you are interacting with the computer, how well you are interacting with the computer, or by which kind of means you are interacting with the computer will be discussed in the user interface. There are two types of user interface. One is command line interface and graphical user interface. So, we will see in detail about command line interface and graphical interface. First one, command line interface. So, what is this command line interface means? In command line interface, it is a mechanism for computer operating system or software by typing commands to perform specific task. That means whenever I want to open any kind of file, so just by giving the commands only I can open the file. If I want to play any music, so there also I have to give commands in order to play the music in my system. So that means whenever you want to perform any task in your computer, you need to communicate with the computer with the help of an commands in case of command line interface. So this method of instructing a computer to perform a given task is referred to as entering a command. That means with the help of a command only you are communicating. So how you will give the command means? You can give the command or input with the help of a keyboard, right? That means you cannot click on the any of the application. Here the input will be taken only by using keyboard. So this command line interface is not at all suitable for the beginners. This is how the visualization of the command line interpreter. Here commands are there, right? Here if you observe, you are having echo, hello, world you are having. It is used for printing hello world on your screen or hello world on a document, right? So generally in a normal case you will type the hello world, right? But here you will open the command prompt and then you have to type the command then in order to insert a text, right? So examples for commands or examples for command line interface will be, here we will use some different types of commands. So here I will use dir commands in order to display list of files and folders. Again I will use copy command in order to copy any file or folder. Then md making directory is used for making a new folder, that means creating a new folder that is not existing. So cls in order to clear the screen, quit in order to close the complete open documents. Here if you observe, until and unless we won't give the commands, we cannot communicate with the computer. So you might got one doubt, right? So how we will know all the commands and how we can interact with the computer means, this is not suitable for the beginners. Until and unless the person is having a knowledge over the commands, he cannot work on the command line interface. That is the reason command line interface is not suitable for beginners. Next one is another type of user interface is graphical user interface. In case of graphical user interface, it is a user interface which allows people to interact with the computer with images rather than text command. You have to understand one big difference between command line interface and user interface, because in command line interface you are giving commands in order to communicate with the computer, but in case of graphical user interface, instead of commands you are clicking or you are using images rather than the text commands. So this is more user friendly interface. Here how the input will be given with the help of keyboard as well as a pointing devices. So what is pointing devices means? Your mouse or stylus which is used for, or this kind of pen, light pens, that and all will be called as an pointing devices. So graphical user interface is visible in this format. So you will understand what is exactly graphical user interface. So the graphical user interface consists of a basic functionalities or gives the interface very easy to the user with the help of pointers, icons, desktops, windows and menus. So here if you understand, if you observe here, if you want to check out the messages in your mobile or if you want to check out the text in your mobile, if you click on this message icon, obviously all the messages that comes into your inbox will be visible to you. If you want to check out the contacts that present in your mobile, obviously if you click on this icon, you can easily read out or check out the contacts. That means it is a graphical user interface. Here I am not typing any kind of commands. I am just clicking on the icon that is present on the desktop with the help of a pointing device. So this kind of user friendliness is given in case of graphical user interface. So first type is pointers in a graphical user interface. Pointers means, so an arrow will be called as a pointer. So instead of arrow you can see some hand kind of gesture also. So what is the need of this pointers means? Either to move, that means move the text from left to right, right to left, or from top to bottom, bottom to up. So either it may be a text or else an image or else an object, you can easily move with the help of a pointing devices called as pointer. Next one is icons. If you want to communicate with one application, if you want to open WhatsApp, just by clicking on the icon that is visible on your screen, you can obviously access your WhatsApp application. Next one is desktop. So in case of a desktop, if you consider graphical user interface, your windows will be called as a graphical user interface. Here in order to create one folder, I am not going or I am not pressing any sort of command. Just I am right clicking and here a drop down list is displayed to you and I am going to new and then I will open my folder. That means all the icons or all the text will be personalized with the help of a drop down list. Next one is Windows. So what is this Windows means? If you observe your computer, you can have your game at one side, pictures at one side and Facebook at one side. That means 3 windows you can manage at one time. 3 windows you can manage at one time. That is called as having a windows, which is used to divide the screen into different areas. So this is how your windows will be. Next one will be menus. In case of graphical user interface, many menus will be visible to you. That means a list will be displayed to you. Just by clicking on that list, you can open a new file or else open a already existing file. That and all is possible in graphical user interface. So you can execute the commands by selecting a choice from a menu. So here I am having a menu, and in this menu I can opt any one option in case of graphical user interface. So advantages of graphical user interface is, it is very easy to understand, and the user no need to have a previous knowledge. That means no need to have a specific knowledge or specific command over the commands, right? So that is one, it is easy to learn. As well, the one who is not having a knowledge on the computer also can access the computer if he is working with graphical user interface. But the one who is not having the knowledge over the computers, he cannot access command line interfaces. That is what. So here it visibles in its own window when attention is switched. So that means multiple windows can also be opened. Examples of operating system will be MS-DOS operating system, Windows, MacOS, Macintosh, Linux, Solaris, and Android operating system. So from these examples you can understand, you can categorize which is command line interface and which is graphical user interface. Thank you.